Reject the worldly lie that says that life lies always up ahead. Let power go before control becomes a crust around your soul. Escape the hunger to possess and soul-diminishing success. This world is full of narrow lives. I pray by grace your smile survives. For I would wander weary miles, would welcome ridicule, my child, to simply see the sunrise of your smile. To see the light behind your eyes, the happy thought that makes you fly. Yes, I would wander weary miles if I could see the sunrise of your smile. Now close your eyes so you can see your own unfinished memories. Now open them, for time is brief, and you'll be blessed beyond belief. Now glance above you at the sky. There's beauty there to blind the eye. I ask all this and wait a while to see the dawning of your smile. For I would wander weary miles, would welcome ridicule, my child, to simply see the sunrise of your smile. To see the light behind your eyes, the happy thought that makes you fly. Yes, I would wander weary miles. I would wander weary miles. I would wander weary miles if I could see the sunrise of your smile. This is the only song that someone dared me to write. In fact, the person who dared me to write it is here tonight, Ken. He dared me to write this song, and you know what power a dare has on a weak mind, so I did. This is a song that I wrote about my father. He was a doctor. He practiced medicine in North Nashville in Madison. He knew that he wanted to be a doctor from the time he was 7 years old. And he practiced medicine 53 years. He was 82 years old when he started having small blood vessel strokes and wasn't quite up to the work anymore and was forced to retire at 82. Still had 5,000 patients on file at 82. And at 82 and a half, he died because medicine was his whole life. He was a wonderful man, my father. I'm proud to be his son, William Card, Dr. William Card. I'm proud to be his son. He was a gentle person and a kind person in a world that isn't kind, and I'm proud to be his son. He got up every morning before we were up and would go do rounds in the hospital. You know when you're in the hospital at 4:30 and the doctor comes and wakes you up to ask you if you're resting well? That was probably my dad. And then he would go to the office and see patients, and then he would go back to the hospital, and he wouldn't come home till about 8 p.m. So I grew up eating supper at 8 o'clock at night, which can make a little boy pretty grumpy. Blood sugar get pretty low between noon lunch and 8 p.m. supper. My dad would come home, and he was always tired, as you can imagine, and he was almost always angry. But let me make something perfectly clear. He never hit us. He never raised his voice to us. He only spanked me one time in my whole life, one spanking. I really didn't deserve it, but I was 12 and he'd never spanked me, so he figured a good father at least once. And so on this trumped up charge, I got spanked. But he would come home angry because of the people and the situations that he'd been dealing with all day. And he would walk right past us, and he would go into his study, and he would lock the door. He had a wonderful study. It was the biggest room in our house. Floor to ceiling books that I was not supposed to look at, as you can imagine. Then one little boy looking at these medical books might see something I ought not to see. We had this one book. It was called The Color Atlas of Dermatology. And it was filled with pictures of people with skin conditions that they had let go way too long. In color. And after I looked at The Color Atlas of Dermatology, I never wanted to look at any of his other books. It's enough to put you off books for good. He also had these wonderful anatomical models that I was also not supposed to touch. But he had one of the eyeball. And I discovered that there was a lens inside of this thing when you took it apart. It was real hard to get back together. And on a real bright sunny day, you could use that lens and burn holes through medical journals with it. I probably should have gotten spanked for that, but I never got caught. He would come home, and he would go into his study, and he would lock the door. And to this day, I don't know what he was doing in there, maybe taking a drink or something, I don't know. Trying to find within himself, I guess, whatever it was he thought we wanted him to be as a father. I don't know. But this is where the song comes from. When I was a little boy, I used to get down on my hands and knees, and I used to talk to him underneath the crack of the door. There are pictures of me doing this in my diaper. And I would stick my fingers under the door, and I'd wiggle them at him. See, how are you in there? It's supper time. See? I know it's a silly picture. It's a big joke in my family. Well, I'd shared that story with Ken. And one day he looked at me and his face lit up and he said, I just figured out who you are. I said, I need to know this information. He said, you're still that little boy. He said, that's how you communicate with everybody. And he was right. I am still that little boy, and I will do anything to make you listen to me. I will wiggle my fingers for you up here. I will draw pictures and I will slide them out there to you. Because God never wastes anything. He takes the most hurtful things in our lives and he uses them to make us more like him. And this song isn't really about me. This song is about you. Because I want you to do what I did. I want you to go back and look and ask yourself about those things. Ask the Lord to point those things out to you in your life that he has or intends to redeem. His name is Redeemer, after all. He restores the years the locusts have eaten. And that's what the song's about. It's called Underneath the Door.